Hello everyone and welcome to the Scratchicus Academy. We're going to be doing something a little bit different today with Eberron, as people are still on their way back from PAX and we're very much like, please travel safely. So we're going to try something a little bit different. We have Vesh and we have Tart here, and we are going to delve a bit into their pasts and see what happens from there. But first of all, let's just pop round. I'm going to quickly say some bits, all the boring bits, before we introduce everyone. But Discord, hop over there and say hi on our Discord. It's full of awesome people and we talk all things TTRPG and D&D. If you want to get into a game, DM Scrap on Twitter. We are, I think, almost full at Christmas now, and we're going to start taking places for season 2 in our viewer games, including the Cypher system. YouTube, we're all up to date on YouTube. We are all full-time now, as you know, thank you to awesome people. And ways to support us is via Patreon, but we also do have a lot of free articles on there as well if you wanted to go and check those out. There's some really awesome stuff to read on there. You can also support us by buying our merch. It's super cozy, it's super warm, and we use Redbubble, and it's really good quality. We have some awesome sponsors. One of them is in our wonderful game today, in Bird in the Storm. And you can get their merch on the link that I think is just going into the chat now. And it's t-shirts, it's mugs, and I want to say zip up hoodie. I think that's the right link for it as well. Yep. As I say, I think it should be. And also our other wonderful sponsor, which is Mage Hand Press, the dark matter software material that we use for Argo 37. We will have Wild Magic Surges, and this is going to be primarily... sort of a lot of role play, I think, in this. It really getting to know the lovely Vesh and Tart. So without further ado, we'll go around and say hi. So hi, Lauren. How are you?
Oh, hi, Alice. I'm doing great. This music isn't luring me into a false sense of security at all. I'm Lauren. I'm That Salty Ginger over on Twitter. She, her pronouns. I'm playing Tart, who is a changeling bard and part of House Fiarlan and has never done anything wrong in her life. The end.
Awesome. And we're going to hop over to Tool School. How are you, Tool School?
I am doing great. I am just back from PAX myself. I had a great time, and I want to give a huge shout out to my buddy Prax because she is most awesome and knitted me and my Pride beanie along with one for my buddy Bird versus Plane, and an amazing design for an ally beanie as well for our great buddy Not So Speedrun Speedy. And you can see pictures of them on Twitter all over the place because we were wearing them pretty much all weekend. So this poor Florida boy wasn't freezing. I will say I am back in Florida now and it's 80 degrees outside. So this is probably not going to stay on for very long, but I definitely wanted to show off the amazing work that she did. I love it. And it kept me warm. And so far, con crud free. I just can't use my mouth, that's all. But anyway, so wanted to do a huge shout out to Prax, and a happy birthday as well, which we drunkenly sang to her from PAX U. But anyway, I'm Tall Squall. You can find me all over the place by Tall Squall. As Tall Squall, that would be my outro. Let's talk about my intro. My intro is, hi, I'm Vesh. I'm playing Vesh today. He is our Kalistari, who has been going through a lot with his Kiore because he was sort of out of Cyre, where the mysterious mist sort of took over there. He is, his Kiore, instead of just sort of being this inspiring, like a little spark of inspiration in him, has become much more active and also has been changing him physically as well, which is not normal. So he is a storm sorcerer and tempest cleric, basically with a giant soul sorcerer, thank you, and a tempest cleric, basically all down through this storm giant who is Kiore. So we shall see how this all goes as sweet innocent Vesh, only 16, and kind of finding his way home. Most people have picked up on this, but my main sort of inspiration for him is kind of as a Great Dane puppy. Is kind of where he is. He is all elbows and ankles and knees and feet. He doesn't quite know how to use quite yet. So anyway, that's me.
I love it. And once again, yeah, I love the hat. Can I just say, as people know, I'm slightly obsessed with hats anyway, especially since I chopped all my hair off because now my ears get cold really quickly and easily. But yes,
I actually do another quick last thing about Prax.
Yes, go for it.
Prax, with her, when she for making caps and stuff like that, the extra yarn goes towards, she makes other beanies for chemotherapy patients. So not only are you buying a hat from Prax, you also are helping out folks who are going through rough times, and with a nice, wonderful handmade gift as well for folks who are going through chemotherapy. So a giant shout out to Prax. She can do most anything you could possibly imagine, and you will love it as much as I do.
Oh, absolutely. I was going to say, I saw that earlier, and Prax is awesome. It's really awesome. And happy birthday again. Obviously, I did see the drunken video. Like, you guys had a lot of fun. So yeah, let's jump into this. Actually, before we do, I've just been told we've hit 10 retweets. So Vesh 1 and Tart 2, I'm just going to roll. 2. So it's Tart, and we will bear that one in mind. If you could roll, I think it's still 614 at the moment. So, Vesh, Do you remember when the shopkeeper left you? And where, why, what was the day like?
It had been I'm going to pull this a little bit.
Mm-hmm.
I think in our story that this is Vesh telling this story to Rush, and certainly as we sort of flash back into it, can start playing it out, but I think it's kind of the idea. It had kind of been a bad week. You know what? I think you kind of know I have accidents a lot. So, well, there was that incident with the chicken farm, which we kind of laugh about it, but I kind of did burn down Farmer Grayson's chicken farm, well, his chicken coop. And the shopkeeper was always great. He tried to make the best of things, and he brought over a keg of ale for everyone, so the chicken wouldn't go to waste. We kind of had a banquet, a feast afterwards. But, you know, when the feast is done, you still have a whole chicken coop gone, and, you know, chickens don't make eggs anymore. So it was a pretty big hit for Farmer Grayson. But that wasn't really what did it. There was a big shipment that had to go out, fabric, that the merchant had special ordered, and it had come in, and he had told me to just stay upstairs. That's all I had to do, was just stay upstairs, because he needed to make sure that this guy all got on the wagon and got out the door. It had been raining, so the streets were muddy, and so we had to be especially careful wrapping everything in all kinds of tarps and waxed fabric in order to make sure that all this silken fabric that was going off to Sharn was going to be okay. So I stayed up there and stayed up there and stayed up there. I thought, well, I'll just go down the back stairs, grab a quick glass of water. That's all. There's no way he was in the front room. Everything was happening in the front room, right? How was I messed something up? But sure enough, down the stairs I went, and down the stairs I went. The rolling pin on the kitchen hit the floor and went rolling out towards the door to the front of the shop. So I went to go to try to stop it, because one little rolling pin, I mean, those, I can't tell you the number of times one little rolling pin has been the end of me. So I went running to grab it. And I grabbed it. Well, as I grabbed it, I hit it with my foot. So then I went falling forward into the front room. And I was like, don't go towards the front door. Don't go towards the front door. And so I sort of leaped backwards, and I hit the wall. And in order to make sure that all the fabric was good, our roof was a little bit on the leaky side. We'd hung up some tarps up above. They were nice, good quality wax tarps. So they held the water, the little bit of water that had dripped down in, but I hit the wall. They came unattached. All the water that had collected, and the dust and the dirt and the grime went pouring down, sliding all across the front of the thing, which was okay because the fabric was still outside. But then the shopkeeper slipped and he fell. And then all the fabric pouring out of the back of the cart when the horse bolted up and ended up in the mud. It was almost 6 months worth of investment to to get that in, to be delivered. And he didn't get mad. He never get mad. But I could tell. I guess I couldn't tell, but looking back, could tell. He knew something had to be done. It was a couple days afterwards. We were going to do our normal trip up to a small village where we did a lot of trading. And he knew I felt bad. And I thought he was just trying to make up and asked me to come along. Because I only gone twice. And when I'd always go, I was really good there because there's lots of stuff you can get involved in. And so I would just stay by the cart. That's what he'd say. Just stay right here by the cart. Everything will be great. And I would. And I really rarely got in trouble there. I mean, little small stuff because it happens. So we got up to the village. We got to our spot. And we set up on our little booth. We always did. He asked me to watch. Wasn't a lot there, a lot less than we normally took. Just some basic stuff, some lanterns, a few tools, some rope. Just kind of standard stuff. A backpack, a lantern, rope, some rations, sort of our standard general goods stuff. Never sell very good, but you know, at that point, it was kind of all we had left. He was a good merchant, so I was going to do the right thing. And so he looked at me, sort of patted me on the shoulder, said, "You're old enough now, boy. You can watch the booth yourself. I've got to go pick up some goods. I've made a deal to get us back on our feet after losing the fabric." I felt really good. I felt kind of proud of myself. So off he went. I stood there at the booth. I kind of called out to people like we always do to see if there's anything. And like I said, it wasn't stuff that normally sells. So no one was really buying things. Went on past midday. Sun started to go down. We're usually on the road by then. And it started getting later. Later. I was getting kind of worried. Worried about the merchant because, you know, maybe something bad happened.
And we'll jump into this scene where Vesh is sat. And you're sat there. It's getting dark. It's getting that little bit colder. And the people in the street start to dwindle. They're going home. You can smell people like cooking the dinner. You can smell the dinner that is being roasted over a fire. You can smell that smoke coming from chimneys. People are settling down for the night. And a woman walks past you. You're right there. The market's closing.
Yeah, I know. And he turns down and looks at what's the goods were to sell. And that's when it hit him. It's a backpack. 5 days worth of rations, a rope, a lantern. That's when I knew. merchant wasn't going to come back. So I looked at the lady and said, "Oh no, I'm fine. I'm good. Yeah.
Sure? You're waiting for someone?
Oh, they'll be along in a minute. We're gonna meet outside of town."
Okay. Okay,
Thanks.
well, wrap up warm. It's gonna get a bit cooler tonight, so maybe I'll see you around.
Probably not. I'm not from around here.
Oh.
Not anymore.
Well, have a good journey wherever you're going. Okay?
Okay.
I'll see you.
Bye.
And she wanders off, and this street is empty. Completely empty. There are a few buildings that you can see lights in. You see the dusty path, which is something, it's normally so busy you don't even see the ground. And it's getting dark, the stars are coming out. And you have that dull, warm glow lighting your path just from the windows of the houses.
Vesh packs up everything. It all fits into the backpack. He realizes the little cover on the tent, the cover on the booth is really canvas from one of the tents. I should have known, really. I should have put it together. We've sold a pack like this before. Folks going on a journey. Every single piece is here. He's doing the right thing, though. I just wish I would have been strong enough to do it on my own. I knew I was ruining his business. I knew I'd made his life so much harder. This is good. This is what, if I was stronger, I would have done this a month ago, years ago. I sort of look, I sort of can see that sort of path stretching off into the darkness. And that sort of little deep voice inside of him, just like, head west. We'll go to my home. And with backpack on his back, Vesh sets off into the night. Only one little stumble on the way out of town. A little bit of mud. As a dog kind of ran across his path.
And you disappear out of this town, village, this place, along this path into the darkness. And soon, all the light from the windows fade, all the light from the city. Your path is lit by the moon. And you can see the odd firefly sort of buzz around you before disappearing. And you walk down this path. You're not too sure how long you're walking down this path. In fact, so much so it starts to get light again. You can feel the dawn break. You can hear the birds start to chatter amongst themselves again. And you can see these rolling hills before you, the odd tree here and there, the odd fence sectioning off land. And you feel that slight warm glow when the sun does come up. And you see another village, town maybe, just ahead
farmstead.
of you. Yeah, that sort of thing ahead of you. And you can see a couple of people working in the field. Some of them even see you and they wave.
Yeah, Vesh waves back, sort of having walked through the night in different, almost in a kind of a daze through the night. I think his cheeks are probably wet just from knowing he's on his own. I think it goes back and forth between knowing he's on his own, but also knowing he maybe's heading for some place where it's not going to be quite so hard. And he kind of waves to them. I think at this point he's walked through the night, and so he knows he needs to probably eat something, maybe take a quick nap to then continue on. He knows traveling at night isn't safe for just a single person, so he wants to try to get himself onto a schedule of walking during the day and trying to hopefully find safe places at night.
You walk up this path, and you sort of have to walk through this homestead to do this. And you can see there's people working in the fields. There's a couple of cows that you can see are being led to the field. There's a barrel with water that's dripping into it. And again, you can smell something breakfast is being cooked, like eggs and bacon you can smell it waft from the window. And someone steps out of the house. Lauren.
Hiya. You see a very short, wrinkled old woman with her gray silver hair kind of wrapped up, thrown together messily, with a walking stick, and one of her legs appears to be almost like a prosthetic, something similar to what Warforged would be made of, but very, very old looking. Hiya there.
Oh, hi. Hi.
Don't get many visitors this time of year. It's turning cold.
Yeah. Trying to get to Sharn before the weather turns really bad. Not sure if I'm gonna make. Do you know how far it is to Sharn?
It's a long ways away.
Oh.
You just gotta walk.
Well, that's all I got in this pack. Just a few things. I'm traveling light because that's what you do.
Who do?
Adventurers do that, I think. Yeah, adventurers do that.
You're an adventurer.
Yes, ma'am. Yeah. Yes, I am.
Where have you ventured?
Here? So far.
Did you walk all through the night?
Yes, ma'am.
Come inside. It kind of bristles and starts stomping back in.
I might break things if I come in. I'm clumsy.
Thought that was a threat at first.
Oh no, I don't break things on purpose. But wherever I go,
I was gonna say you could try, but I'm pretty quick.
I believe it, ma'am.
Come on in. I ain't got nothing that can't be replaced.
Okay. Thank you. It smells mighty good in there.
Mm-hmm. Come on.
He goes up in.
As you walk into this very small sort of homestead, this is a simple but homely kitchen. There is a big wooden table which looks like it feeds many. Many people can sit around this table, and there is a big, almost Aga-like oven which is glowing from the inside. You expect maybe not fire, maybe something else is warming this and keeping it lit. There are herbs and meats drying on the ceiling, and you can smell all of this. And a cat sits on the windowsill by the sink.
You get out of there. She starts hitting her stick at it.
It screeches and jumps out the window after grabbing some form of something from a bowl, running again.
Can't trust animals. I mean, it is a farm. That one in particular.
I agree with you. They always seem to get under my feet, and they trip me. I've had a dog or a cat cause me more trouble than you. Anyway, so you have a big family, I guess?
Nope.
It's a mighty big table.
Nah, some of the people who live nearby help. We all kind of help maintain the farm, you know. But none of mine. No, sir. They left to become adventurers like yourself.
Oh. They never came back?
Nope, adventurers don't tend to do that. What's your name, by the way?
I'm Vesh. It's nice to meet you.
Mm-hmm. I'm, Odie.
Hi, Odie.
Mm-hmm. You sit down, I'm gonna fix you up a plate.
Yes, ma'am.
Waddles around the kitchen, pulling the last few like spices and tossing it in like a scramble. Yeah, that'll work. It's a scramble.
It smells better than anything that the merchant used to cook. He was okay, but not great.
Your merchant? Thought you were an adventurer.
What? No, the merchant is who I lived with till now. I'm an adventurer now.
Mm-hmm. Where'd you say you were from?
About a day and a half east of here.
Mm. Oh.
Just sort of, we have a little shop on the road coming out of Cyre.
Kind of sniffs the air. Never much.
I'm not from there. I'm not from Cyre, though. Don't worry. I'm not from Cyre at all. That's not where I'm from. Cyre. I'm not from there.
Uh-huh. Yep. No, I'm picking up what you're laying down, Vesh. She gets a big bowl and kind of slops the scramble in there and places it on the table.
Vesh just tuckers in because he was at the stall all day and then walked through the night, so he probably very not politely, not being fancy, he digs right in.
Oh boy.
Probably tears through that bowl in just about as fast as you can imagine, as 15-year-olds are grown boys are wont to do.
And Odie, there is a knock at the farmhouse door, just like and
what?
It sort of like pushes open from the bottom, and there's this small, very mucky 5-year-old boy stood there with a mass of just black hair that's sort of all scraggled on top, and he's in his just work clothes, and he's holding a basket full of eggs. He's like, I got the eggs.
You know where to bring them? You want a pat on the head for doing what you're supposed to do?
I didn't want to barge in. I saw someone else come in here.
Okay, I'll give it to you. Come here.
And the kid sort of shuffles over there with 2 hands and puts it on the table.
you?
As he looks over at Vesh.
Hi, I'm Vesh. And he reaches out his hand to try to shake the little guy's hand, and I gotta do it.
Yeah, do it.
And immediately knocks the eggs off the table.
Yeah, the plate sort of, it doesn't shatter, the bowl chips and the eggs fall out onto this.
I need to go now. I'm sorry.
Yeah, finish your scramble.
And the
I don't
kids
want to waste more eggs. Finish the scramble.
Yes, ma'am. And he sits back down to the voice of authority, but then he's eating quickly now.
Yeah, the kid looks at his hand and it is mucky, and he's just
Hi.
carefully reaches out, or maybe he starts to and then just kind of like, hi.
This here's Vesh.
Hi, Vesh. I'm Carnan. Nice to meet you.
and he sort of pulls this chair out and jumps on. He's like,
How old are you?
I think 15, sort of ish.
You're like a whole
2 hands.
10 more than me.
Yeah.
Carnan, you just gonna sit there and conversate while there's fresh egg on the floor.
I don't.
You can do both.
Yeah, okay.
and he just sort of starts like, he runs over, picks up this like board and starts just scraping it onto this board.
So, do you like toys and stuff? Do you play still, or are you too big for that?
And he's like pushing this egg onto the.
You missed one. Good.
Oh,
There you go.
Vesh's eyes sort of light up, but then, no, I don't like toys.
oh. Okay, each to their own, I guess.
And he's sort of picking up this board, and he looks briefly at Obi to. Is there somewhere you want me to put this? Like.
She looks at him like, use your brain.
And she walks over to where like the door is and just launches it out of the door.
That'll
But
do.
without taking his eyes off of you.
It's just a constant stare off.
Just he sort of nods, and then we'll go and return the board, probably to the shelf where it's a lot higher than his.
Vesh sort of whispers to Karn. I don't like toys because I usually break them, especially if they're someone else's toys. I don't want to mess them up. So be it.
It's what I've got a bigger brother that always breaks my stuff, so it's alright, you can have a look at it if you want.
Ralph's been breaking your stuff.
He always does it.
What do you do about it when he does it?
Nothing.
Nothing. So why would you think it would ever change?
Maybe you'll get bored one day.
That is putting a lot of faith in someone who is doing you harm, Carnan. You know, if someone is doing something bad to you, you may have to take some kind of action, even if you are small or clumsy or whatever.
What, like, fight back?
You
So
could start with,
I punched
what?
him once, I got him with so much trouble with Mum.
Did he stop?
No, he just hits a bit harder.
Right.
But he is like
And again, he brings up his fingers. He's like,
7 summers older than me, is what Mum said.
Have you tried talking to him?
Well, no, I didn't think of that. Maybe I'll try that. Do you
That's a
talk
good-
to people? If they, annoy you?
People do not, people do not annoy me.
I can tell you've got lots of patience.
And he kind of looks at Vesh and it's like between both of them and sort of like off a little bit.
At least, if you talk to him, you might know what his deal is, although Ralph is a pretty simple individual.
That's what Mum says. Says he's just like Dad.
That's always better than, people hiding behind something else.
Well, Mum always says, be true to yourself. I'm not very good at that, but, well, when Ralph's around anyway, but maybe I will try and talk to him more. He's not a big talker, but...
Neither's your dad.
No.
And you see sort of Carnan, like, he sort of heads back towards the door.
He's like, I'm gonna go and finish off the other jobs.
Mm-hmm.
I'm going. I am.
And
Vesh, if you're still here when I get back, if you want, I can still show you. I've got a favourite one.
look, and he picks like it up. He's like, you can play with it if you want when I come back, but I have to be here because it's the only one he has.
If I'm still around, thank you.
And he holds up like this little figurine, like this carved out of wood, this soldier with a round sword on his back, a round shield on his back.
He's like, this one, but I'll see you later.
And
that's really cool.
Disappears out the door.
He's a sweet boy. She's looking at Vesh, kind of. She pulls out a pipe and starts smoking it.
Well, I finished up my eggs, and I probably should get back on the road.
You gotta wash your bowl first.
Oh, yes, ma'am. And he gets up and takes the bowl over to the sink. I assume there's like a pump.
Mm-hmm, exactly.
So it pumps it. Do you have any lye?
Mm-hmm. She points next to it.
Gets out the lye and starts washing it up. And
it's gonna take you a long time to get to Sharn, Vesh.
I know, but it's where I've got to go.
You ever been on the road by yourself before?
No, ma'am.
Mm-hmm. Well, start by not walking through the night, my boy.
Yeah, I know that was. I know that wasn't right, but I didn't get started till late. I was waiting for someone who was gonna meet. Was gonna meet me. Then I realized I needed to just go ahead and get on the road on my own.
So someone broke their word to you? Left you?
No, not really. They just did something that I wasn't strong enough to do on my own.
That sounds like a bunch of bullshit, Vesh.
Oh, it's true. If I would have really loved him, I would have left long ago.
Why?
making his life really hard. Now he has to think that he left me instead of me doing the right thing and leaving him. So it wasn't his. I was just a stray he picked up.
So were most of the kids on this farm. I mean, Carnan and Ralph accepted, although their father was. But I don't think it's strong to leave someone you love. Children make their parents' lives harder. It's just how it goes.
Well, that's the thing. See, I wasn't his. My mom died, and I lied to you. She got me out, I guess. Or so I'm told. They were running from the morning in Cyre, and I don't know how they got caught, and I guess my dad did too. That's why he sort of looks at himself, and at this point, his growth's been sort of weird, so he is kind of misshapen a little bit, as this is sort of the very beginning of his Kiore starting to become active, kind of sort of that puberty thing happening, it sort of activating it as well. So he's an odd looking shape right now. Maybe not even completely symmetrical. One arm might be a little longer than the other. I mean, he looks pretty pitiful. And that's why it's been getting so much harder for him to just even keep 2 feet in front of another. So I think it was just, he knew there was no place else for me, or maybe he made a promise to my mom before she died. But it's time. It's time for me to actually find a home. I just have this feeling, it's almost like a voice. Sharn's where I need to go. Merchant said I was a Kalishtar. But
I thought I smelled something on you.
But when we tried to go talk to the Kalishtar, they said I wasn't, that I was on the dark path.
You.
I don't know what all they meant. They just used lots of big words that I didn't understand.
They probably didn't know what they meant either then.
Well, they didn't want anything to do with me.
Vesh, maybe you should stop letting other people tell you who you are.
Oh, I kind of thought that's what I was doing. Go out on the road. Go to Sharn. I feel like there's a new horizon from there. I keep hearing it sounds like, when you fill, you are here at the farm, when you fill up like a big trough and there's that sort of lapping of water that finally fills up. I've been hearing that along with that feeling, and kind of a voice that's not quite my own, telling me to go west, go to Sharn. I think Sharn's on the water, right? Maybe, I don't know. As I travel, I'll figure it all out. Like you say, stop having people tell me who I am and figure it out on my own.
That goes for that voice in your head too, young man. Whether it's, I don't think you're on any dark path, at least not that I can see, but go to Sharn if you want to go to Sharn. Not because someone's telling you to.
Guess that's for me to figure out. What do I really want? We've got a nice place here. And obviously, a lot of people depend on you. You keep everyone hopping, it seems like.
Yeah, they do hop when I show up.
I need to find something like that where I fit. I know it wasn't back with Merchant, but maybe it's in Sharn, maybe it's further along the way, maybe it's somewhere in between. I don't know. But I got to keep trying.
Sharn's a kind of fancy place, Vesh.
Yeah. But even the little village where we used to trade had a really nice inn, but there was also, out by the pig pens, used to be an old man who used to sleep out there. So I figure even the smallest places, if there's someplace nice, there's going to be some place where someone like me can curl up.
I just meant that you should just be more sure of yourself is all. Seem a little worried all the time.
One of the things I'm trying to practice is keeping my eyes out for all the things that are gonna get me in trouble.
Maybe don't think so much of them as things that are gonna get you in trouble, but opportunities to meet new people.
I was talking more about brooms and shelves that fall over, but...
Yeah, I know what you were talking about, Vesh.
Oh. Of course you did.
Just, you breaking my eggs didn't make me like you any less. It's the, constant talking down on yourself that kind of piques me.
Okay. That's good advice.
I like to think so.
Sure was nice meeting you, Odie.
It was nice to meet you, Vesh. Why don't you say goodbye to Karnan and, before you go, if you see Ralph out there, well, you're bigger than him. You just give him a smile. That'll do nicely.
Okay. I'll go find Karn.
Take this with you. I don't know how much stuff you got on you, but 5 or so days of supplies is not going to get you to Sharn. She hands him a bag and like picks up like a pitchfork. Maybe take that too, just in case.
Thank you.
There. Now you look you look more like a farmer, but eventually.
It's a step up from just wandering through the night.
Yes. Do not wander through the night. Swanee?
Yes, ma'am.
Uh-huh.
I'll remember.
All right. You still got some daylight, so go on. Get on with yourself.
Yep. I'm on my way. Thank you. I'll go see about it, Karen.
Yeah.
So I go out the door and sort of look around, see if I can see that mop of black hair.
Yeah, as you leave this barn kitchen door, you step out into... The air is fresh and cold, but there's a definite warmth there now that the sun's out. You can hear, "Come on!" And like this kid is like, you know when they lean forward, like so they can't, he's not actually got any control. This cow is still there as he's pulling on like this rope that he's just like leaning into sort of, and every now and then like really pulling, losing his grip as he's trying to pull this cow. It's like, for God's sake. And you see Kanan, and you also see what looks like a taller version of him, effectively, and walks past him. And Kanan, you can see in his back pocket is this little wooden soldier that's fallen out. And Ralph walks around and picks it up. And it's just like, you can't quite hear what they're saying because they're at a distance, but he's waving it in front of Kanan. And Kanan stops pulling on this cow and starts to try and jump up at this much taller boy, not as tall as you, but a much taller boy. Kanan is very small. And he's like, "Give it back!" as he sort of tries to pull on this older boy's top.
So Vesh will walk over with his pitchfork and is George facing, or Ralph facing away from me or towards me?
Ralph like sees you coming. He is facing towards you, and he sort of looks up and looks a bit like more confused, but at the same time like wary of you. And sort of to get out of the way, he pushes Kanan over, who just sort of drops to the ground in this little puff of dust. He's like, "Ow!" And Ralph walks over, like, "Who are you?"
I'm Vesh. You Ralph?
Yeah, how do you know my name?
Odie told me about you. She told me all about you. He just smiles real big.
Yeah.
And I actually, can I do an intimidation check?
I was about to say, could you do an
intimidations,
intimidation, please? Could you do an intimidation check, please? He's like, he seems quite soulless.
Damn it. I should have used one of my donations.
He's like, "There's nothing to tell, so why don't you just walk on?" And you can see Kanan behind you trying to get to his feet. And Ralph is holding this soldier in his hand. The same one, this armored soldier with a circular shield, just like...
So, I would like to, because I figure I can reach the soldier pretty easily.
Oh, yeah, this kid is tall, but he's nowhere near as tall as you. He's just like bullshit.
Is a wooden soldier or a little metal soldier?
It's a little wooden soldier.
Yeah. Good. So I reach across and grab his hand. And since it's just I figure since it's just, who knows where I am level wise, but I figure since it's just a cantrip, probably, this might even be the first time.
Yeah.
I will use a nat 20 to shocking grasp him, which I assume also lights up my eyes with sort of the blue lightning. and reach out, grab one hand, and then take the soldier with the other and just.
Yeah, as you do, he sort of shocks backwards. He doesn't fall over.
I had a nat 20.
He doesn't fall over, but he stands and he grabs his hand. He's like, what did you do? What was that? What's wrong with you? And he sort of backs up a little bit.
Just looks at him and goes, I didn't do anything.
Yeah, you did. I felt it. And I saw your eyes go.
I don't know what you're talking about.
I'll tell someone, I will.
Yeah, because I'm sure if you start telling people, it's not like that's going to happen again, even when I'm not around. People don't do stuff like that. Spirits do.
And you see this kid's eyes just go wide, like, what kind of spirits? There ain't no spirits here.
Vesh, from around Vesh's feet, mist and fog begins to rise out as itty bitty version of fog cloud starts to form. Oh, we're really close to Cyre. The spirits are everywhere from the morning. You never quite know who's watching.
And this kid
Fog
is like
begins to
backing
sort of,
up.
flow off of like dry ice around Vesh's feet.
This kid backs so far that he doesn't stop until he feels like the cow that's sort of behind him as he sort of stops it. And he runs. He just sprints. And Karnan is sort of looking up at you with this. He saw the static, he saw the electricity, he sees this mist.
Yeah.
And he went,
fog is classic sort of a concentration spell, so I'll let it dissipate, but I'll just reach out and go, it's okay. That's just a trick, I know.
That was awesome. Like, he's like, how did you do that? Can I do that? Did you do that? Is there actually a spirit there?
It's up here.
Cool.
And I actually will talk to him telepathically, because I figure he knows how to do that from the merchant and from the other Kalistar, and just goes, and when he does that, it says, it's up here. And so he hears it sort of like in his head.
he's like,
Oh, that
So,
was clever.
do you have any sheep around here, or like an old wool blanket?
There's sheep in the field, and there's this cow. I don't know if that will help, but she's pretty stubborn. She's not going anywhere today.
And whenever Ralph gives you trouble, you just go rub on a sheep or on a wool blanket really, really, really hard.
Uh-huh.
And just go touch him on the ear.
Will that do the same thing you did?
Close enough, it'll scare him.
Okay.
like, you see this kid is just like, yeah.
Just tell him the spirits are watching. And give him a little that.
I think I'll do that. I'm gonna do that. Yeah.
So we can get this cow moving.
Yeah, she's pretty stubborn.
And he's literally just now pushing this cow, and this cow's, when they just sit and they chew, like it's just sat there, it's chewing. And on a 10, you're both like, you make it move a little bit more. It's a very slow process. It's a mixture of you pushing this cow and kind of like pulling on this cow. And he just sort of says, he's like,
Thank you. People don't normally help me. I know I'm small, but people don't normally help me.
Well, I guess if I'm going to be an adventurer, I need to start helping people. And pretty soon I'm thinking, well, there's going to be a lot of people smaller. And if you're the big guy, you're supposed to help the small people. That's what the stories say.
If it helps, you're really good at it.
Oh, not yet, but maybe one day.
Maybe you'll be like this guy.
And he holds up like the little statuette thing. He's like,
I heard that this is a real person, like a great warrior, and he was a traveler, he was an adventurer, and he used to help people. So, you never know.
Maybe one day.
Yeah.
He sort of takes a look at it and then hands it back because he got it from Ralph,
Yeah.
so hands it back to him. Well, I've got to get on the road before it gets dark. Odie would probably come and hit me with a wooden spoon if I walk through the night again.
She will. She did it. She did it to Jerry.
like, and she sort of like points at this kid that's over in like where the hay is and moving stuff. That
He went out too late one night. Nothing was wrong with him, but my God, did he learn about it when he got home.
Yep. Okay.
When you're a big old like adventurer and everything like that, you'll come back and say hi, right?
Yeah.
Okay.
I'll try. Well, because if Sharn doesn't work out, he looks over to the east. I might have to go to my real home.
Where's that?
He swallows deeply. He just looks back that way.
and Kanan looks back that way. And
What, the fields?
A bit further, but yeah. Okay. Remember about the wool. Right on the ear.
I will. Well, I'm gonna go find. I gotta finish my jobs and, thanks for helping with the cow. But I'm gonna go find Ralph.
and he's sort of got this smile on his face.
Now, don't you become a bully doing it,
I won't.
but make sure he remembers.
Mm-hmm.
And he waves and he starts running off. But he looks back every now and then until you disappear over the hill. You walk for days. You probably get used to setting up a camp. You get used to sorting yourself out food. And would you avoid people on the road?
I wouldn't say avoid, but also just, not necessarily knowing, would be very wary of traveling with people or before approaching groups. I mean, if he saw just someone coming down the road, he would sort of get off the road and over to the side, maybe not truly hide, but for the most part, if he saw a family had made camp or, people who seemed friendly or that, I assume along these major, quote unquote, major roads, there's probably some sort of general, I don't want to call them like rest stops, but almost, kind of like what's a day travel apart where people normally would set up camp or where old camps. So he would stay with those, and I'm sure once in a while you would cross paths. But on the same note, knowing that there's bandits and other things like that, he would do a very good, try to do a very good assessment before approaching any of those. And, also knowing that he might cause them trouble that they don't need with, anything that he might, clumsily stumble through. But on the same note, we know that he's not good at all at stealth. So he will try.
Well, on the 5th, 6th day, you can see a huge city in the background. You can see Sharn. It towers up, into the sky. The cat is digging claws into my leg, and you can see two figures coming down the road. One of them is on horseback, and they see you. This looks to be a fairly well-dressed man, and he smiles at you as he sees you on the road. And he's on this horse that is also very well decorated. And a Warforged walks next to him, beside him. Good day.
He sort of, again, giving deference to the horse, and the rider has just sort of hi. He probably has a hat by this point. I'm kind of thinking that maybe he wintered in one place, as because wasn't it spring when we first arrived, episode 1? So I'm kind of thinking that along this journey somewhere, because I don't know how far it is from Cyre to Sharn. I was thinking it was more like a month walking, but
yeah, it's a while.
Okay, so yeah, I'm thinking that he probably walked a while, then sort of holed up, and then as the weather was warming, as we were getting to spring, then did this sort of last little bit of the trip. And so he again, that's sort of where he got his survival, proficiency and stuff like that from sort of coming. I mean, he probably also went the wrong way at least once or twice.
I'm assuming he did many a time.
Yeah, I mean, this was not the direct path to Sharn. This was him sort of wandering across. But yes, as so this would be about 5 days prior to sort of like episode 1 type idea.
Yeah.
Okay. And so a little bit more, he's a little bit more into his growth, his Kiores and him have now sort of, more talking. That's bonding has happened a bit more, sort of where we found Vesh on episode 1. So sort of a smash cut forward in time, or probably a montage.
Yeah, a montage. Yeah, explain it. Yeah,
travel montage. That's what we got here is Vesh has grown some and gotten better. He probably still has the pitchfork, or maybe no, he's probably ditched the pitchfork by this point. Just because going into Sharn, he probably doesn't want to get the pitchfork, but he might have like kept like a tine of it, like that's sort of like just a thing that he, as a, maybe we talked about he had stakes for the stakes that he uses for his tent are actually the 4 prongs of the pitchfork.
Yeah, nice.
And hi.
You all right there, boy?
Just heading into Sharn.
Ah, what for?
Oh, need to get a boat.
Boat?
Yep.
Where you going? You're very young to be getting a boat on your own.
Oh, I've got some goods I am trading. Need to have it on the river.
Ah, well, interesting. And where are you heading for this trade?
Can I do an insight check? I'm just not sure if he would tell this person that he was trying to get to
yeah.
Zendrick. Oof.
On an 11.
Actually, is insight the one that I've got advantage on? Stand by, I can't remember which one I chose.
You have... I think insight is your... I can't remember.
It's not one that I can click off on. Because it's one of the 4 and I always forget which one I do. It's with my glamour.
Well, I'm happy for a perception as well, because it's also on how this person...
Yes, no, actually it is. You have advantage on ability checks that make with a chosen skill, insight. Yep, so okay. It was the intimidation I didn't have it on. That's where I messed up.
Okay, that's fine.
So it is insight. Let me write that down now.
This man sits tall, and he sits very proudly. He's in armor. More looks like dress armor rather than actual battle armor. And he smiles. So, where are you headed, young man.
So I get a read as to whether this is someone I should tell us go that, I mean, gosh, I probably don't, because Ugora doesn't know that Zendrick has fallen. Or that it might be a problem. So no, so Vesh, even with the insight, is probably going to assume that that's okay. I'm hoping to go to Zendrick, to get passage to Zendrick.
Oh, interesting. Any particular reason?
I have relatives there.
And you see him sort of nod and smile a little bit. He's like, well, you're going to the right place. There are, yes, there are boats, but to be honest, an airship is probably your best bet if you want to get there quicker. But if you're set on getting yourself a boat, then why not?
I hear airships are very expensive.
They can be, unless you offer your services. Scrub the decks, do something. You'll get there.
I thought they were too fancy for needing stuff like that.
And he sort of leans down. He's like, it depends what ship you get on. And the Warforged, you see this Warforged just turn and look at you. And its eyes blink from blue to green as it takes you in.
He like probably is open mouth and then just closes them. He doesn't even know how to react because, Warforged are not particularly, again, was a brand new experience for him when he got there. And I think this is probably truly the very first one. And as its eyes blink, hi.
Oh, have you not seen one of these before? 57, say hello. And this Warforged just takes a bow. Is it? Greetings.
Greetings to you too. Yeah, no, I've seen lots of these.
And the man sort of stands up straight again. He's like, enjoy Shan. And
Thanks.
a word of advice. And I don't mean this in any offense at all, please. You look a little down on your luck. Take this. And he just offers you this small dagger. He's taken it straight from his own belt, and he holds the hilt out to you. Whether you sell it, whether you, I don't know, use it to peel fruit, I don't care. But you look like a good boy. You look like you'll do something. Maybe. I don't know. Maybe I'll come back in a year or so, and I might see you again.
Thank you. I'm Vesh.
Cole. My name is Cole.
Cole. Thank you, Cole. No, thank you. Yeah. It's been a long road to get here.
Where did you come from?
East.
East? How far east?
I kind of got lost on the way.
Fair enough. I'm guessing this is all pretty new to you.
Well, I've been traveling now since before winter, and then kind of holed up and then made the rest of now that it's getting warmer.
Well, I wish you all the luck. Enjoy Shan. And he starts, you hear him sort of click at his horse as he moves it onwards. And the Warforged hangs back briefly and looks at you. Thank you for not judging my master. And he turns and he walks and follows the horse until they disappear down the street, over the path and past the hill to the east.
I look down at the dagger. Is there...
Roll a perception check for me, please.
Ooh, 19.
Okay. You've seen this before. This is a beautiful dagger. This is a jeweled dagger. You've never seen such riches all on this just small hilt. This is a tiny, like, if anything, you could probably call it a letter opener.
Yeah.
It's not necessarily built for fighting.
Right.
And on the hilt at the top in a circle is the picture of a bull with a ring in its nose. And yeah, Lauren's got it. And you head into Shan.
Vesh, seeing the value of this, it's probably the most, as he's down to literally, like, he was down to a couple electrum left. Actually, I'll have to go back and look exactly what it was I started off with, but he had pretty much penniless. He takes this and he wraps it up in sort of a nice oiled cloth that he has, probably a scrap from the original tent, from his tent that was given to him, and sort of secrets it away, sort of in the very bottom of his backpack, sort of like almost like I don't want to say like a secret compartment, but how we all know how easy. Any lady out there who's had a purse with multiple pockets know that you can completely make things disappear inside those, inside inner linings and stuff. So I think he's kind of done that, knowing in the back of his mind that might be the way how he would pay for passage, either on a ship or on an airship, in fact, even just depending on what he can find.
And you approach this, after tucking it away, you approach this huge city that towers up into the sky with its dominating walls and the river, the Dagger River, that you see branch out. And that is... Go. No, go for it.
I was going to say,
where do we leave Vesh?
He starts wandering his way down the alleyways, and where he will eventually... I think he tossed a stall when he was found by the rest of the party. So
where you walked into a met.
Yeah, when I walked into a met.
And that is where we'll leave Vesh for this point. And yes, on a 19 for story purposes, say that was the symbol of House Cannith on the dagger, which I knew Lauren had spotted. Yeah. As Cole of House Cannith headed to the east. We're going to hop over now, unless anyone wants a break or anything. We can hop over to Ophelia. Well, no, we're hopping over to Tart.
Yep.
You've been Ophelia for so long.
I know.
And
6 months. 6 months and a few weeks now.
Yes. So, do you remember when Ophelia died?
Oh yeah, because I was in the room.
Mm-hmm.
So Tart was probably thinking of this when the group found her dancing or singing in that room with her mother.
So you in like a party type place, or?
So it would have been the night of the planned engagement of Ophelia Fiarlan to Demetrius Thorani. It was prearranged, but it was supposed to happen that night. Big deal. But Tart mostly lived as Tart back then, as a performer, as a dancer in the theater district of the Skywalk. She was publicly known as a friend of the family, but was really considered more of a daughter, or at least a ward. So she knows she's supposed to be there, and she's supposed to be on alert. But right now she's doing what she's best at, which is probably plying a wealthy patron of the theater with a drink and pleasant conversation to get some knowledge out of him to bring back to Mother Dearest.
Yeah, there's this fairly red-faced man with the amount of wine you've plied him with. He's quite round. He's got a very decorative waistcoat, which looks like it's bursting at the seams. He's got a heavy jacket on, and he's leaning back in this chair watching all of these things go along, and he looks a bit out of it, and he offers his empty wine glass to you again.
Oh, and she'll pour it, and she'll just do it at the best angle to make herself look just perfect.
And thank you, my dear. What were we talking about again? And he's sort of you see him try to drink, he almost misses his mouth.
Oh boy. If he spills any, she kind of cleans off the stains with prestidigitation, just like.
It's like, oh, wonderful.
Oh, you were talking to me about your friendship with House Thorani.
Yes. Wonderful people. Could be a little bit of a pain, keeping to dates, keeping to, oh God, and that's that. Okay. Between you and me.
Of course.
I am so happy for the houses to unite, but as the teacher of Demetrius, as his professor and as his tutor, he's a pain in the arse. He's so just irresponsible.
What do you mean? What does he do? Does he go off on his own a lot?
He whines. Oh, he whines. He just whines all the time. This old man he's getting more and more flushed the more he drinks. And he's got this a tiny bit of hair, which you can see he's sort of readjusting a hat on it here and there. Almost everyone else in here, they've all taken off their hats out of manners, but you can see he's probably keeping it on to make himself feel a bit better about it.
He reaches over and takes it and starts almost not juggling, but moving it along her arm and kicking it up.
He's like, oh, okay, yeah, you can do that.
It's fun, I like it.
Yeah, yes. And he sort of tries it's like he's trying to catch it, but he's so slow trying to chase this as you move this around.
What does Demetrius whine about? And now she actually starts juggling it along with something else she picks up from the table.
Oh, everything, people, places he wants to go and visit. I mean, he always tries to take me places. He wants to go here, he wants to go there, he wants to go to this library, that library. I don't know.
Well, that's good, right? He's very studious.
If he finished off his actual work, then yes, but he always gets a new fascination here and there before he... That's it, brain gone, new subject, new topic. His latest thing is he wants to go to Rote.
Why would he want to go to Rote? Stuffy.
Thank you, isn't it?
We are very free here.
I was born in Rote.
Oh, I'm so sorry.
I know. I got out as soon as I could. He wants to go to the big library in the tower or see the tower. I don't know. Apparently, he's got a friend there. But that's him, But have you got any of those really nice snacks that they had? They were walking around here a moment ago.
Oh, of course. And she's going to reach into her little baggie and pull out something that is laced with something else.
Yeah.
Just something to make him forget my face, and what we talked about.
Yeah, and you sort of offer it. He's like, "Oh, that's delightful." And I'm assuming you'll fare out like this. Maybe a really beautiful little truffle-like dessert. It's when people drop that really shiny sort of like red liquid over the top, and it's got a little sort of golden chocolate swirl on top. And he takes it, and he's like, "Oh!" And he takes a bite out of it, and he's like, he does that really horrible that really loud licking his fingers.
Smile never leaves her face.
Yeah, and he finishes it and then licks the fingers on his other hand. And he's like, "That was really good." And you see him just rock back into the chair as he sleeps. And you see some of them, you see some of the other people walk past in their long flowing dresses, like, "All right, every time," as they, walk past in this party.
She claps her hands for one of the stagehands to come over. Cal!
Yep.
Cal!
Yeah.
Yeah, smarter about it. We have to be quick. Can you make sure that this gentleman gets home okay?
Again? Okay. Fine.
I don't know what it is. I guess a lot of people who come here can't really handle their liquor.
Yeah, well, make sure it's a slightly smaller one next time. I'm not that, and he's sort of trying to heave this guy up over his shoulder.
No, you're doing really well. You should feel very proud of yourself, Cal. Give me a smile. Where is that smile?
He does that really sort of grimace, like. And he sort of, you see him half drag this guy who is now laying, almost snoring on his shoulder.
Cal, wait! You're going to drop him, and I'm going to search his pockets.
Yeah. Could you roll me a sleight of hand?
Yeah. 17.
Yeah, 17. You can find some. There's gold in there. There's some handkerchiefs. There's a pocket watch.
Ooh.
In there, very decorated pocket watch.
Ooh.
And that's about it. There's not too much in there. It looks like he's basically dressed for the party. Not much else. And Cal's like, "Oh, just then keep it. You done?
Oh, done what?
Can I go?"
Can you?
And he sort of frowns and continues to drag this man out of the door. You see him talking to someone, it's too much to drink, as he sort of heads out.
Such a good boy. I'm going to keep the pocket watch. Got to practice.
And you are in this huge hall. There's people dancing. There are people playing fiddles, harps, beautiful instruments. There's this huge dome ceiling that you're very, very used to, with all this gold and marble, and everything is carved into this stone, all this natural sort of patterns. And people are weaving amongst each other. And you can see acrobats, as you will know. You can see some of them are hanging from huge ribbons tied up to the top in the ceiling. As they fall and twist and spin, you hear some gasps from the audience. What are you doing?
Judging them and their shoddy performances, obviously. No. Yes. But I'm also looking for Mummy and Ophelia, and probably also Demetrius, because he's fun.
Yeah. You can wander, you can see your mother talking to Ophelia. Ophelia is in the traditional gown. It's as white as it's the engagement, and it's encrusted with beautiful things. And she sees you and just waves.
Make a face at her where Elvenor can't see.
Yeah. And
I changed my face just a little. Nobody else could see but her.
You see her chuckle a little bit and cover her mouth quickly as Mother just looks over that sworn, angry face. And you see Demetrius over by, he's talking to someone who's dressed very, very smartly. He's laughing from all of your training, you can tell it's a fake laugh. This person is probably a boring someone from somewhere.
I'm going over there.
Over there. And yeah, you see, it's an old man with a big bushy moustache, and he's fairly tall. And he's just very much like, well, you know, if we have trade here, then when this union comes, and we should really start talking business. And you could see Demetrius like just nodding over and over again, like, yes, of course.
I do the same thing. I like move behind the old man and like pretend like I have big whiskers that I'm stroking as I like move past.
And Demetrius keeps his cool. He does have a slight quirk at his lip, but he's keeping cool. He's like, excuse me, I believe I'm needed. And this old gentleman's like, yes, of course. And Demetrius walks over and takes your arm, effectively. It's like, thank you, and just starts leading you away. He's like, well, how are you finding it? It's a bit of a waste of time, if you ask me.
Why is it a waste of time? Would you rather be somewhere else?
I don't like parties. I hate parties. But, you know, gotta be part of them. Not only that, no one here likes me. Everyone knows we're hated. We don't like you guys. I'm sorry. Well, you're all right, but, you know.
Thank you. I will take that as the highest compliment. I will pin that to my lapel. Thank you so much for saying that I am kind of all right. I am tolerable tart.
Yes, you are. And he sort of smiles a bit. He's like, I mean, it's not like, it's just a bunch of faces telling lies. I know they don't like this. It's all done for politics. You know, there's a lot more out there. But...
like libraries?
Yes. You like books?
I love books.
Like mysteries? Love mysteries.
I like mysteries too, but sometimes they are very frustrating.
Do you know what? I know what you mean.
Yeah.
Yeah. I mean, not only that, I've got this, my tutor. He's absolute, I mean, he's from Root. And I really want to go to this library there. And I mean, he could get me in, but he's just being a pain in the arse about it.
That sounds so familiar.
Yeah, I know. It's just, but anyway, how are you doing? Not too knackered yet, are you, after all this thing? And you sort of move slightly as someone steps just next to him, and this big like puff of fire comes out. This fire breather. It's like, okay.
Okay, show off. Keep it moving.
And this person winks at you and sort of cartwheels away before blowing another sort of jet of fire, scaring a group of women over who did not see this person coming.
Well, you know what I do like about the parties?
Yes?
Dancing.
Oh God, you're one of those. Okay. Yes?
You are just so charming, Demetrius. Everything about you, everything that comes out of your mouth, mwah, pearls.
Yeah, I know. Like, it's just like...
So dance with me, dummy.
Fine. And he just sort of offers his hand out.
Oh, yeah.
He's like, come on then. And he sort of effectively drags you onto the floor. You can see a couple of people turn their head as this happens. And he does, along with this sort of upbeat, happy music. It's not all contact. You sort of well, how do you dance? Because he's very upright, he's very sturdy, he's been taught a certain way to dance, and that is how he shall dance.
Oh boy, poor guy. She is going to be a bit ridiculous. So she starts off kind of like mimicking his movements, very, very proper and formal. And then it starts to kind of turn into the jig from Titanic.
Yeah.
A bit, where she like grabs him by the arm and starts like spinning with him at one point until like people have to back up and give them more and more space. And as like the ribbon dancers are still like swinging through, when one comes and lands, she's going to grab onto it and kind of take his arm and like keep spinning until it becomes just a full-blown spectacle.
Yeah, at the beginning, he looks mortified. Like, he is absolutely like, why don't like, he stays incredibly like stiff as you sort of move around him, and you can see he starts to relax, he starts to forget what's around him, and he starts to laugh, especially as you spin him round, and he can see Ophelia laughing at the same time. Your mother is not.
No, she's Ophelia.
And there's a couple of people around the side. Some are smiling, some are clapping, but the one that gets him are the shocked faces of annoyance at his own mother, to which he then continues in this dance. And you dance this jig, and some people start to join in. They start to try and copy and mimic you, and this fun dance ensues of the whole room coming together and dancing. And amongst this, you see someone weaving towards you in very dark dress, stern face, looks livid as she comes over, and you are grabbed by the shoulder, and Demetrius sort of lets go, and mouth like, as you are dragged from this floor.
I mouth that coward.
And he's just like, as he just nods in response and sort of waves and disappears from the dance floor.
Ow, 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 ow.
What are you doing?
What you told me to do.
When did I say dance with Demetrius?
You said gather information on Demetrius.
Making a spectacle of yourself?
That was just
with
added.
One of the betrothed. What is wrong with you? What are you doing?
Having fun?
Did I say have fun? Are you here to have fun?
No.
Then what are you doing? Answer, come on, quicker. Oh, have you missed her, Lauren?
Oh yeah, Mom.
I just must have misinterpreted what you were saying.
I thought I was pretty clear.
You probably were. It was my fault.
Oh yes. Now, if you've gathered anything at all from that malarkey over there, what is it?
He's
Nothing?
a wanderer. Yes, I got.
A wanderer.
He likes libraries. He will probably want to travel.
How thrilling. That's it? Nothing else?
He's a good dancer.
And her eyes narrow.
Oh,
at
God.
this.
I shouldn't have done it.
And she's just like, her eyes narrow. And that's sort of when you like, they suck like the bottom of their teeth, like, is he?
Passable.
And she leans into you slightly, pulling you further away,
No.
down, so just about around on the sidewalk. And as she does, she's like, hello, hello, to like the people as you walk past before you're like, are you trying to stir up some drama? Is that what you're trying to do? Are you trying to embarrass me?
No.
Because that's what you're doing.
I was trying to loosen him up to make sure he was less guarded.
Less guarded. Give the man a drink.
Well, sure, I guess that is one basic way to do it.
And you can see her. She actually gets a smile on her face.
Oh no!
And she looks at you. Get out.
Mm-hmm. Yep.
Now.
Yep. Okay. She is like literally like booking it up the stairs.
Yeah. You can see Ophelia as you leave the room, and she sort of waves to you as you sort of head towards the stairs.
She doesn't wave back. She's just moving.
Yeah. And she'll follow you, seeing you disappear. And you feel like her hand grab yours. What are you doing? What's up?
Oh, just got to do some work.
Oh, is she giving you She's being a pain again?
No. Mm-mm.
Oh, come on, Tart. I know that face, kind of.
It's fine. I don't think I'm going to be able to be here for the big moment.
You're supposed to stick with me. Come on.
I kind of look and I like try to see if Elvinor's around.
You can see her walking past the door, like just behind Ophelia. She's not necessarily looking at you, but you can see her walking.
Okay.
I mean, it's fine. I can meet you later if you want. We can go out again. Quietly. But why not?
That sounds like a good idea. We can go out.
Okay. You go do your job, and I'm gonna go and talk to Demetrius. And she sort of like,
he likes books. He likes mystery.
oh yay! And she sort of like slides out of the doorway and disappears back into the ballroom. Where are you going?
I'm gonna kick her feet and go to a room. Probably with plans to sneak out.
And you can stay in your, you can still hear all this music downstairs. You can hear the hype is still going on. You can hear some cheering. And the music is kicked off again. And from the hype, you can probably tell maybe Demetrius and Ophelia are dancing themselves. Probably a lot more static than what you were doing. But yeah, there's all this going on, and you can look outside. It is nighttime outside.
Yeah, she'll give it a few minutes and she'll change and start thinking about a face.
Roll a perception for me, please.
Sure. 12.
As you're looking out of this way, if you're sort of, getting changed and looking to try all these different faces on, there's someone sat in your window, on your window ledge, that you recognize. It's all Squall.
All Squall's in my room.
2 back, dear.
Huh?
Not that one, or the one before that.
No.
And you see a sort of rakishly handsome gentleman sitting there. He has sort of purple razor cut type hair, kind of probably half elven type of look. Tall, lean, wearing sort of a tunic and like long leggings, nice boots, a rapier on his side. They're all sort of dark in color, sort of deeper blacks and purples. And you would know Corvair from some of your prowlings around the city, as we've gotten to our fair share of trouble over the times that we've bumped into each other on different things. And not necessarily a member of House Fiarlan or the Shadows, not Shadowmarked, but certainly like you, a friend of the family.
I guess the redhead will do nicely.
That always did look good on you, dear.
Thank you. I think so too.
Suits your fiery personality.
That is what my mother would say.
Oh, Elvenor. What did you do to piss her off tonight?
I danced with the betrothed.
Ooh, scandalous.
It was.
I assume it turned the entire ballroom into a giant spectacle.
Mm-hmm.
So how high into the air did you lift him?
I didn't get to that part.
You got no finale?
No, I was totally cut off, like right before the climax. It's rude.
Which is always so frustrating to be cut off before the climax, right?
It is. She would not know, let me tell you. She would not know.
Oh, I bet she was a wild one in her day.
Well, I must get it from somewhere.
Well, Lord knows.
What are you doing here?
Oh, I figured you would end up making a mess of things, and I would be here to pick up the pieces. I brought you something.
Mm-hmm.
He brings out a bottle of her favorite.
Ooh. Yes, good. Bubbly. She'll pop it and like pull out 2 glasses. Here.
To another evening of adventure? Or are we going to stay subtle tonight?
No, that sounds terribly dull. I think that's what Ophelia must go through all the time. Would be such a drag to be her, just like, yes, ma'am, no, ma'am, of course not. And she's not even that. She doesn't even move her face except to me. It's always nods and curtsies. Sounds so boring.
Well, it's what station does to you. There's expectations to meet and all of that.
Yes, getting married to someone you don't even know. That sounds fun. Fun.
The politics of shadows.
She's throwing them back.
Oh, yeah. Don't worry, I brought another.
Haha.
I know you that well. At least, you know you that well.
Mm-hmm. Well, what are we going to do? Because you were not invited. I mean, we could always try going back in, but...
Oh, into that old stuffy party? Why would we ever do that?
Good point. Where do you want to go?
Well, there's the cabaret down across the way, or we could stay up here. There's always some party to crash, or something shiny to steal.
Oh, you will love this. Look at this. And I pull out the pocket watch.
Ooh. Now that's nice. May I?
Yep.
It pops open. Oh, I know a fence who'd give you a pretty penny for this, or is this going to go into your trophy collection?
It goes with the trinkets. And she pulls open a jewelry box with various things that she's nicked. They look so shiny all together.
So, shall we take one swing around the tower and then down to below, or shall we find another trinket for your collection?
Lead on. I don't much care where we go as long as we go.
Well, and he sort of holds out of his hand, and I totally see this like from the live action Peter Pan movie, like the music starts to play. He has his hand held out, and he uses his wrist grappling hook to shoot off a grapple, and as takes a Tart's hand, and literally it's all but like we fall off the balcony before it catches, and then we do this big sweeping swing sort of around the tower of House Fjarlin as we head down below.
You fall effectively. You drop. You feel your stomach go. You feel safe, but and as you both fall into this darkness, you see the ground or the tower rushing towards you before it clips, and you feel this pull of a swing around this tower, and you can still hear the music from the ball still going, and you can see stars, you see lights in the town, you can see all the ribbons laid out in the streets below. From everyone is celebrating this union. And you feel that cool rush of air as you very, very quickly start getting lower and lower. And you both start running, almost mid-air first of all, so that as you hit these cold cobbled grey streets, which is almost like in a blue-grey, the moon is sort of beaming down onto them, and you can run and let loose the clip as you go.
Shall we go over to the plateau then? A little fun in the entertainment district.
That sounds as good as any. And if there's anyone there who's not very good, I can show them up. And that will also be very good.
It always does you well to let the people know who the real star of the city is.
That is right. Okay, that sounds good.
You can head down to the entertainment district. You walk quite far. It's quite, it's not super high up like you are. And as you go down, you can start seeing the Dagger River as it flows a little bit through the city, as it sparkles in the moonlight. And you hear more music erupt. You hear drinking, you hear merriment, you hear people having a good time. You can hear lots of people in the streets drinking out on like huge tables and things from outside the tavern. And you can see the entertainment quarters. There's lots of people mixing in and out.
Ah, look. Must be that the finals are over. All the co-eds are out from the university. Shall we find a couple handsome and pretty ones to have some fun with? Mommy and Daddy, I'm sure, have filled their pockets.
Don't want to just rob anyone blind. They just like fun things to remember people by.
Well, let's go have some fun and then decide how to remember them.
See if any are worthy of our memories.
Exactly.
You see a couple of drunk people staggering about the street, but most of the time as you walk past, there's like a group of them just like, way, as you walk past, like cheering as people, like the people don't even know each other, but they're acting like they do, like they see each other, and they're just like it's like they've seen an old friend. And the music has the musicians themselves have come out into the street and started playing. There's all the ribbons hanging from, it's almost like bunting, but it's not. This is just long streams of coloured ribbon to create a party for the city. And you can see men, women, there don't seem to be many children about, but everyone is celebrating. You can see the odd Warforged like carrying a tray of drinks. You see a much smaller one with a damaged arm in the background mopping a floor and shifting some things, shifting some tables around.
I will nip a few drinks off of one of the trays being carried, and with a smile and a bow and maybe a clink, but it probably wasn't enough to pay for them. And Corvair has grabbed drinks for himself and for Tart, and begin to scan the crowd a little. I'm looking for someone big and strong and dumb looking.
The best.
You can see there is a man in the far corner. He's got a couple of women around him, and a couple of men as well, some smaller men. And he's just he's puffed his chest out. He's sort of trying to make himself the biggest part of this room. He's telling a story. He's telling an adventure or something he's done. And he's got a beer in his hand, and he's just drinking and roaring with laughter. Like he throws his head back every time one of the women say something. You can tell he's probably not actually listening to some of the comments, but he is throwing his head back and laughing.
I give a knowing look to Tart.
Mm-hmm.
So, should you start this off, shall I?
Oh, after you, I will be your wing woman.
And so Corvair sort of saunters over and listens for a moment to find a quick place to interject into his story. And oh, never, that's not even possible. Can't possibly be true that you were able to slay one of those.
Yes, it was. Ain't that right, ladies? And like you can see some of the women just sort of not really doing much. Some of them are just like over it now. But he's just like, I can prove it. I can really prove it. And he's a little bit tipsy. He's like, look, this. And he reaches into like his shirt, which is definitely unbuttoned too far, and pulls out this tooth about this big. And he's like, see, it's real as well.
Oh, wow. Can I hold it? It's so big.
And he's like, oh. Hello, pretty lady. Yeah, you can hold this.
Hello, pretty man. Thank you.
Handsome.
What is it?
It's this
Pretty.
actually, in fact, roll a perception check for me.
Sure. 20. It's
It is a cat.
Yeah, she's
How'd that get in my hand?
yeah, perception 20, cat
Yeah.
appears. This looks like, in fact, Tart, you have seen this before. This is a replica small dragon's tooth that there's an old boy around the back selling them on a piece of like twine or anything you want. This is fake.
Oh my goodness, this is so impressive.
And he's like, thank you.
Oh, you are quite the man to be able to slay a dragon like one of those.
I am, right? Like, I mean, and he just sort of
Look at
like
the size
starts
of the
like
muscles
touching
on you.
like his.
Uh-huh.
I mean, I did it. My bare hands. Bare hands.
That's incredible. Could you show my brother here some of your techniques?
I'd be most grateful if you could show me just how the prowess with which one would be able to slay such a beast.
Ah, right. Okay. Well, and he does this very clumsily.
Let's refill your drink. I wave.
Yeah, and a waitress comes over, sort of gives you like a knowing nod, almost.
I give her a wink, knowing we got this.
Yeah, and she pulls you aside briefly. It's like, if you just, I don't care what you do, but if you could chuck him out after this, it'd be perfect.
Oh, don't worry. We're taking him right now. We'll make sure the gasket makes its way back.
Thank you. And you hear like a crash. She's like, blue, and just disappears over to the back of the tavern.
Do we need more space for this demonstration?
Oh,
like,
for sure. I want to see exactly how this happened.
and he starts moving this table, and all these glasses start to shake.
Oh, yeah, let me give you a hand. I know a
Yeah.
great spot just outside where you can show us the full repertoire of what you've done.
And he's like, okay.
A man of your size needs all the room and to draw the appropriate crowd for people to see it all.
Do you know what? And he says this as you guys start talking. He's like, and he sort of does that knowing like jab in the chest. He's like, I like you. No one else shows me this sort of respect. I'm a good guy.
You're one of the most amazing men I've ever met.
And he just sort of like drunkenly nods on his way out of the building.
Tart like hooks his arm and like looks up very admiringly at him.
And he's just sort of, you know, that really like awkward, like drunken smile where one of the eyes are shut because they're like trying to keep both their eyes open. He's like, okay. And you guys step out, what was it, like out of a side door into this
Into like the alley.
alley. Yeah, it's like this, like literally an alleyway, this stone alleyway. You can see a couple of people out there, they're smoking pipes, and you'll recognize one or two of them, and they're just like,
Yeah. I'll give them. I figured that they've probably seen this show about to go down before we sort of give them a wink.
You're pretty sure one of them has been here every single time you've done this.
Oh, hey, it's that guy.
And he's just like,
I give him a wink and a thumbs up.
and if anything, he readjusts himself to get a better look on the wall the other side
Get
with
out
a pipe,
popcorn.
like, and sits there with his pipe and waits. And this guy is like, right, let me show you how I did this.
Tart reaches out and pats Corvair on the back and casts Enhance ability on him. Just because it makes it even better every time.
And he really stumbles, like he really clumsily, he's sort of probably maybe a tiny bit taller than Corvair, and hooks his arm around his shoulders and neck and tries to pull him down. Now, this doesn't actually hurt you or anything at all. He's so drunk. This is like, I'm assuming you're letting him.
Oh, I'm going to do like performance to make it seem like he's really, really, got this going on. So yeah, I'm totally being submissive in this situation. Oh, I had no idea the strength that you have.
Oh my gosh, you're so strong, and why are you going to hurt him?
He's like, don't worry, ma'am. This won't hurt at all, does it?
He's a professional, can't you see?
I see it, brother. Be safe.
He's sort of holding, and you can really feel like his weight leaning into you.
Oh, and as he leans on me, my hands are going in the pockets.
Yeah.
Yep. Oh, I love it.
You can do that. You sort of like put your hand in his pocket. You can find like a couple of silvers in there.
Tart like leans over while he does this, so he just has a really good view and is distracted.
Yeah, like he's like literally looking at you now. It's like I'm not hurting him. It's all good. It's all good.
Okay, you seem very in control.
And then I did this, and then he swipes your legs from underneath you. Sort of. But I'm gonna say, how would you counter this? Because he does swipe your legs, but do you?
So I think that what I'm going to, as he swipes my legs, I'm going to kind of do like an acrobatic maneuver to sort of like all but like swing around. As he swipes my legs, it's all but like I'm doing a flip over his arm, as though he's swiped me so hard it's literally thrown him over his arm. So now I end up as though like he's got me on his shoulder, and it's almost like I prompt him like, hey, I'm up here and look good.
Yeah, as you do it, he sort of goes, he looks double, he takes like a double take, like you see, and he goes, didn't know I could do that.
You're amazing.
No, I could do that. Like, and he's you can see.
So I'm up on top of like his bicep now. I'm like,
yeah.
My God, man, your bicep's almost as big as my chest.
He's like, right. Like, he's still looking at Tart like.
It's so impressive.
He's like, thank you. Now, and that's how I got the dragon. I got it in a headlock, and then he starts mumbling like he doesn't make much sense. He's like, and then I flipped it over, and then I did this, and then he's
right. That's how dragons work.
And the man smoking the pipe is just at the side.
Right, it's such a good story.
So does he have like any other weapons or shiny things like on his belt?
You can see this guy looks like maybe he is a traveler. Looks like maybe he's been on one of the airships. You can see like a telescope fixed to his side. You can see a compass slotted on the inside of his coat.
So any swords or weapons just to be aware of?
He doesn't seem to have any weapons on him. You can guess he's probably got a knife or something simple, more like a fruit knife in his boot, but nothing is like screaming, I'm a fighter at you.
So, Corvair out of his pockets, he kind of has some pouches around. He pulls out like a weighted wooden disc, and that's just about the same size as what would be a pocket watch compass, something basically a round compact size thing, and from up there on the shoulder as he is sort of hanging over and dramatically drapes over like a dead dragon, so his arms are hanging basically right by the belt, does the quick switch out with the compass with the sort of wooden dummy compass, so it feels like it's the same weight and that there's something still there.
Oh yeah.
And as I see Corvair doing this, Tart like sidles up to the guy and just like gives him, you are such a brave warrior, and gives him like mwah, mwah, kiss on both cheeks.
And he flushes red. What you can guess, probably from you being out. This is the sort of guy that really works himself up, but is probably never had a result from it. Like by the end of the conversation, most people are like, yeah, all right. So the fact you're doing this, he flushes bright red. And in fact, he sort of lets go of Corvair. He's sort of there, like feeling his own cheeks as he's looking, he's like, do you want a drink? We could get a drink.
Yes, we should. Why don't you know what? We'll go get a drink for you. You just sit here for a second. You have done so much.
Yeah, I really have. And
You
he sort
have.
of slumps, and Corvair, you probably see this as him. He's going to fall against this wall.
Yep. So I put him on the wall, gracefully, and we'll be right back. A man like you needs to be waited upon.
He's like, yeah.
Tart
This
leans
is
down.
the best birthday ever.
Tart leans down and places the fake dragon tooth back in his hands as he's presumably nodding off.
Yeah, he's slowly nodding off, and as you turn around, the guy with the pipe just sort of waves, just like, okay, buddy, and starts going over to this huge guy that's slumped against the wall.
That was fun.
Kind of.
Yeah. Didn't
Just too
quite get as much out of it.
Right? It was too easy.
Do we want to find a little bit of a harder mark, or
I
do we want
have
to find
work.
someone who can give us some entertainment of the more private variety?
I mean, yes, I do want to do that, but I actually do have work to do.
Back up to the tower then.
It's on the way.
You hear a bell start to ring. Now, Tart, you'll know this is probably the gathering of when the announcement is finally going to be made. You know that there is a balcony, one that Tarts has seen at a later date during the where the two will go out on the balcony and announce their engagement. And that bell is signaling it. And you can see people coming out of the taverns, bringing a drink with them, and getting to raise a glass.
I really don't want to miss that.
Well, let's get a good spot then, right?
Could
Is
you get me back up to my room, maybe?
not a problem. And I think that probably he has a little bit of magic, so he uses a levitate spell. That's how he gets up there.
Almost
And
like
sort of a
House.
stealthy levitation as we
Yeah.
sort of, through the shadows, get up there. That's how he sort of goes and sits in the thing, along the whole Peter Pan vibe.
So it's almost like Howl's Moving Castle, like maybe you're holding, you sort of jump from each rooftop. It's
Yeah.
just drift through the
Kind
air.
of like almost like that it's kind of like slow motion parkour.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Corvair, don't
Yes.
ever get on our bad side, okay?
Of course not. Why would I?
I don't know. I don't know why anybody thinks it's a good idea.
You are pretty terrifying, House.
Thank you. Guess. You know what? Work can wait till tomorrow. I'm going to go see this. It's my family too.
Absolutely. You should be there for your sister.
I should.
Even if your mother's not too fond of you being there, let's find a spot where, as she looks out over the city, she can see your smiling face. Is there like a balcony or someplace that they would look when they looked out over that we could sort of position ourselves on?
You can see there's some rooftops further down. There's some rooftops with some chimney stacks slightly lower down, but you can look up at this.
Maybe if we go quick, I could get back and talk to her before.
We'll try to make it in time. Let's hurry then.
Okay.
And so yeah, I sort of pick up the pace. It's still a long way up though.
Yeah, it is.
But you guys, you hop rooftops, and you can get to Tart's room. Just on the window ledge, like catch it last minute.
Mm-hmm.
Yep, you're signing, dear. And he sort of takes out a handkerchief and pats her
I
down.
mean, I could get rid
I
of
was gonna
that
say, you do it the
myself.
quick way.
She like
being-
waves her hand and she's back to Tart.
Being polite.
Thank you. It's very, very nice. Ugh. Ugh, at least I'm not now sweaty. I would never hear the end of it if I showed up with a shiny face.
Yeah, you've got to. And he sort of takes her hair and gets it in, puts it in place for her.
It's hopeless. It's hopeless. Okay.
No, you're hopeless, but it's good that you care about your sister. So it gives a kiss on her forehead.
Thank you. Okay. Well, I suppose I'll see you very soon.
Oh, yes. Look to the rooftops. That's where you'll find me. And he
Probably.
does a very dramatic sort of drop backwards, sort of like a wide-armed
They call me a spectacle.
I learned it from the best.
Uh-huh. That's right. Don't you forget it.
And he'll swing around so that he can get up on the rooftops to sort of get as best view as he can into what all's going to be happening with the announcement. So, he's within a couple hops of, as close as he can get, but also out of sight.
Tart is going to, knowing Ophelia and knowing Mother, fashionably late entrance is probably what she's going for. So Tart's going to run along the corridor as quietly as she can to Ophelia's room, hoping to be able to see her before the actual event.
Yeah. You can see her. She's actually leaving. She's walking down some stairs. She's like, oh, came back.
Yeah.
Where have you been?
Nowhere.
Without me?
Nowhere.
He came back, didn't he?
Just shut up.
Fine. Well, you're the one who gets to have the fun, so...
I know. I
I'm
do not
allowed.
take it for granted. Are you excited?
No.
No.
No, not at all. But then I've got to wear the face, haven't I?
Yes,
That
you do.
boring face.
It is. I was talking about it. Not in a bad way, just
My
like,
boring face.
yes, your boring face.
Yeah.
The one that you put on.
Yeah. As she sort of smiles, like, Tart, what are you wearing right now?
That's a great question. She probably changed into just kind of a generic for her. It's probably not very generic, but so a kind of dark green ball gown.
Is it? Well, I'd rather be wearing what you're wearing out there than what this is. And she sort of lifts up this really like lacy, intricate, like there's lots of things woven like into
It
it.
looks so heavy.
She's like, it is like, oh, I can't walk upstairs anymore. Like she's just sort of, as she lifts it, she tries to give an example. She lifts it and she drops it, like just the bottom, and you hear like a ka-tunk as it falls on the floor. I mean, come on, who wears this?
The Lady of House Ireland.
Yay. And she's sort of, well, I guess we have to go back down and show our faces again.
Yes, we'll see how that goes over.
So, escort me?
Of course.
And she takes your arm and starts walking down the steps. She's like, well, you spoke to Demetrius, didn't you?
Mm-hmm.
Is he all stuffy?
A little, but I don't think that's who he actually is.
Oh, okay. I mean, well, I guess I'll have to find out. You're so lucky. You don't have to go through any of this. You don't have to pretend you're someone you're not. You can go out, you can paint the town, and I've got this. You know?
You don't. I mean, you don't have to. You really don't want to.
What do you mean?
I mean, you can just go, right?
Are you kidding me? Mother would hunt me down and skin me alive.
Yes, and then she would put you back together again, so
And
that
so
you
she
could.
could do it again.
Yes,
Yeah,
exactly. Yes.
And then she'd do it to you.
Probably just for fun.
And probably Demetrius. Poor
Eh,
kid. He doesn't know what he's marrying into, really, does he?
I think he knows.
And she sort of gives you a quizzical smile, but will still walk down the steps with you, and you can see the door frame back open into the hall. And as you step out into this hallway, up into this great hall, sorry,
Mhm.
the music stops briefly and changes into something very regal, almost. And people start clapping and cheering to both of you as you walk her into the room. All eyes are on her. And your mother is sort of just watching you, like, as you walk past. She still looks just not
Yeah.
happy.
Totally expressionless.
Yeah. And Ophelia's there like, just wave at her, it's fine. What's she gonna do? Like, and she keeps walking, and you can see Demetrius at the center of the hall, and he's holding out his hand for Ophelia. And she turns and she gives you the biggest hug. And she's like, well, promise we can still go out afterwards, right?
Of course.
Okay. And she quickly, almost like puts on that fake smile and stands upright again and walks over to Demetrius and bows, and he bows back. And you can feel the crowds come in, and they walk over to the balcony and to the edge. And one of the servants comes up and, almost like you with a twirl, offers a drink and a small, like, appetizer or dessert or something.
Tart doesn't take it. She's just kind of standing there staring out after Ophelia.
And they sort of look at you and they move around a bit, and you can see the same person. Once they hurry over with a fresh drink and a fresh sort of canapé dessert and head to the happy couple and offer with a bow, which they take, and everyone is cheering, everyone is clapping. You can hear the eruption from below in the city of these people cheering.
She just feels empty.
And you watch as they both take a drink, they both cheers, and each take one of the desserts and pop it into each other's mouths in that really cutesy way. And they smile and they wave to the crowd before returning back in. And they head back to the dance floor. People are filtering out. They've been told to give time to the happy couple. You know that you have to stay. The same as your mother stays, the same as Demetrius's bodyguard stays. And the bodyguard comes over to you and says, evening. So,
Hello.
Are you her buddy? What are you again?
My name is Tart.
Hi, Tart.
Hi.
So, you want a drink?
No.
Oh. Oh. And then he suddenly looks incredibly awkward, like he's like,
Yeah.
I don't
She's
know.
looking at him like, who the fuck are you?
Yeah, he's like, oh. Okay.
Aren't you on duty?
Yeah. You were standing there, so I thought I'd come say hi. No? Wow, okay. And he just sort of starts backing off, and he walks over to Demetrius and sort of whispers in his ear, and Demetrius nods and smiles and takes a bow to Ophelia, who curtsies.
Alice,
Mm-hmm.
that was sketchy as fuck. I'm gonna do
Yes.
an insight check on that motherfucker.
Mm-hmm.
22.
22. He is not wearing house clothing. And you watch Demetrius leave the room after bowing.
They seem familiar. They seem like they know each other.
As much as that he's looking at this like, this is my bodyguard.
Right. That was weird. He was trying to. Tart thinks that he was trying to distract her.
And you see Ophelia stand there, sort of slump a little bit, like, oh, thank God that's over.
Hey.
What?
Who was that?
Demetrius? Yeah, I get it. Okay, I don't know. It's the bodyguard or something. Though, nothing.
What?
And your mother starts to leave the room and she sort of nods to you as she does, as she's sort of ushering out another important guest.
Mm-hmm.
I could have sworn he was a waiter earlier. You know, like, he's the one who served us the,
You're-
and she starts to really cough, and
Come here.
She grabs your arm, and you can feel her give way beneath you, effectively.
Kind of knowing, like, picking up things like super fast, knowing protocol. Tart's going to lead her to to the wall and like hit a panel, and it slides open into a small antechamber. And she's going to try to get her mother's attention as best she can without letting anybody else see.
Yeah. She's currently walking out. The very stuffy man from earlier with the long moustache who was talking to Demetrius, and she's like, I can't breathe. I can't.
I know.
I can't breathe.
Mother! And she calls out in Ophelia's voice to get her attention.
Yeah, and her head snaps, and she's like, excuse me a moment. And she heads straight in your direction. She's like, I can't. And she's reaching for just like a napkin or anything, and she's trying to put it over her mouth and cough, and as she pulls it back, there's blood. And she's like, what is this? I don't understand. I just
stay calm. Tart's gonna kind of I assume there's like a button or something in here that she can call somebody. But she's like starting to kind of rummage through her bag looking for like common antidotes. That's what she thinks is going on, like stuff that she would carry with her for events like this.
And she is choking more and more, and she's wheezing. She's like, she's trying to like, she can fit, and your mother comes in. She's like, oh my, lay her down.
I am.
And she's sort of like, just sit her. Like she's trying. Like the mother is panicking as well, but you've probably not quite seen her like this. It's like she's angry but panicking. She's like, Ophelia, and she's holding her face, like she's holding Ophelia's face, and like and you can see her eyes in the back of her head. And she's like, why?
Can I tell what's happening to her? Tart's gonna like try to start doing cure wounds, but she's trying to figure out like the exact symptoms of whatever this is, because they have common things that they prepare for this.
Roll a medicine check for me, please.
20.
Yeah, on this, you know, this is the equivalent of cyanide. you know this isn't going to end well. You know this is over. You know this isn't good. And she is struggling to stay upright. You can see the blood, which is just literally just trailing out from her nose and by her mouth. And she's stopped choking now. She's just like convulsing a little bit.
Ophelia, it's going to be okay. Yes, it is. It's going to be okay.
Okay. And the mother goes, keep her here, keep her alive. And she runs.
It was a man next to Demetrius.
Now that Ophelia and Tart are alone, there's a slight shimmer, and Corvair steps out and puts his hand on Tart's shoulder. Well, that's a trick I was hoping I wouldn't have to show. Tart. Darling, you know.
I know.
No, what? What does he know?
He doesn't know anything. It's okay. You just need to hang on. You need to keep looking at me. Just stay focused.
Like grasping, like at your sleeve, like almost like trying to pull you down, but you can feel her grip isn't strong.
Yeah, I'm down with her.
I reach down and just do calm emotions on Ophelia.
So, okay.
Just calm down.
You're fine. You're fine.
Your sister's here with you.
She is. And she sort of rests her head against your chest and your arm as you're holding on to her. You're with me, it's fine. Always with me. I don't know what happened. You weren't there and then you were. I don't. And she sort of like gurgles a little bit. I don't know. And she looks up at you, dead straight in the eyes. I don't want to die. I really don't. I wanted to go out again. I didn't want to get married. I wanted to go. I wanted to leave. I couldn't.
You won't die, silly. We are going to go out. You just need to.
We're not, though, are we? It's fine. You can still hear some of the music ringing in the halls from outside other corridors and down in the city as the people celebrate. It's okay, I guess.
We'll swing from the towers.
Yeah.
Down to the wonderful shows and parties.
Yeah.
You're going to be free.
Leave you alone with Mum.
She's not so bad.
Tart, she's awful.
But you were here.
I don't want to leave you. I don't. And her eyes just close, and you feel that those hands that were gripping you limp and just drop.
Did you have anything to do with this?
No, but I saw someone running. I was on the rooftops and saw someone run. A man. Was not in house clothes. It looked sketchy, so I ventured over. Just make sure everything was all right. Make sure you were all right.
You need to go. She'll kill you if she finds you here. You need to go.
I look her in the eyes. You know what your role is to become.
Don't think we'll be seeing each other again.
No, I don't think so. But he presses the compass into her hand. Just follow this. You'll always be able to find me. When the time is right and you most need it. Won't be far.
And with that, Corvair, you take off into the night. People are still singing the praises and happiness for the newly engaged couple. Streams of colourful material hang from the streets. People are singing, they're dancing, they are happy. And Tart, you just hug Ophelia. You don't let her go until she is forced away from you. That is where we will leave this week's Eberron.
Oh, cool. Oh, good. Great.
Everyone okay?
Yeah.
Yeah. Awesome.
Beautiful
Well, that
scene.
was different.
Beautiful scene.
Mm. I liked this. I liked seeing like backgrounds. I think it gives more depth to the character, and I think it allows you guys to explore it a bit more. And then if there is a link, if there is an emotion, you feel it. So we're gonna do the normal. We're gonna head round. We're gonna plug yourself, plug what you're doing, and your favorite bit of today, even if there were some sad bits, I think there were also some happy moments. So we will start reverse, even though there's only two of you. We'll start with Tool School.
I had a great time. It was so much fun to sort of live through some of just sort of the ideas I had about Vesh's leaving and how he felt. And again, giant shout out to Lauren, not only for her portrayal of Tart in this episode, but Odie is probably Odie. I just love her. I love her so much, and I love the fact that that is sort of who set Vesh on his path. Even, while the merchant, it's kind of one of those. It's one of those things where it's almost like in life how you have these people who might just touch you or be a part of your life for a moment, but who sort of change your whole outlook. And I think Odie is that to Vesh, just sort of that, some people call them guardian angels or whatever, just something that...
Passing ships.
Yeah. But the thing that sort of set him on his course, and to be able to, he never thought of himself as protecting those smaller than him until Odie sent him to go help out Karnan.
Mm-hmm.
Karnan. So, I think it was great. And then, of course, it was fun. It was fun being Corvair as well. And, for once getting to actually be sort of this smooth and suave instead of being meshed. So I had a great time. I'm Tall Squall. You can find me all over the interweb as Tall Squall. If you go to my Twitter account, you will find links to all the fun things that I'm doing. And for those of you who have not been, I will tell you, and especially if you're kind of totally overwhelmed by the idea of Gen Con, because it is huge and can be very intimidating. A sort of mini, wonderful, still big, but not quite the Gen Con insanity. It's still, you'll definitely get that con feeling. PAX Unplugged, great, well-run con in a great city, and you still get all of that great community, maybe even more so than Gen Con, because it is a little bit smaller. So for anyone who's not been or is looking for a con to be their first sort of venture into the public places of the RPG community, I could not recommend PAX U highly enough. So that's all I've got.
And you run the Vice on a Saturday.
And I run the Vice, which is on my link. On Saturdays at 2:00, you can find me on the Vice.
Awesome. And yeah, one day Scrat and I really want to come to one of these cons. It's like our mission. If not next year, then maybe even the year after. But it all looks so much fun in all the photos and on my Twitter feed. So awesome. Thank you. Lauren.
Hey, what's up? I'm fine. Let's see. I liked the whole interaction with Odie and Vesh, and then Vesh going and helping Karnan. It was so sweet. Have you ever seen The Night of the Hunter? Tall Squall? Oh, you got to give it a watch. Odie, Alice just said like a person on the farm who was gonna like offer food and I was like, I know what I want to do. And there's this old woman in that movie, and it's just a really beautiful kind of Southern Gothic fairy tale, gorgeous film. But that's who she reminded me of. But maybe Odie was slightly more curmudgeonly, which I also like. And then having Corvair was a hoot. It was a hoot. And I love my mummy. She's so scary. So scary. So traumatized.
Scary.
Yes, I enjoy her a lot. You can find me on Twitter at That Salty Ginger. I play games on the internet with my friends. It's the holidays, so things are coming to a close. So the next thing I think I have, so I'm doing in real life stuff right now, is on Sunday. Project Athena, Hope Cthulhu, final season. We all make it that far. That's at 7 p.m. Eastern on twitch.tv/Grimjack21502. We're going to have our mid-season premiere on Sunday, and super exciting things are happening. I blew up somebody's head last week with my mind, so like, it's going pretty well. Yep. That's all you have to say.
Everything's fine.
Everything's fine. Like, the world may be doomed, but I might see my shower buddy again soon. So you should come see if that's gonna happen.
Awesome. Thank you.
Move on, please.
No, I might just sit here in silence and let Lauren keep going. But I really enjoyed this. The other reason I like doing things like this is that when the other players play the NPCs effectively, or other PCs in their backstory of others, you feel more in the backstory of others and maybe gain a bit of insight into the characters themselves and how they react. Or maybe do things with a different character that you can't do as Tart or Vesh. Like, Vesh can't be like Corvair and stuff like that. So it's nice to see that. Yeah, awesome. So I'm going to run through a few bits and then we're going to head off and raid. Do we have a chant? That sounds really weird. A shout, war cry. That is the word I was going for.
I think that was sketchy as fuck, Alice.
Yeah, I think that's the one we were going.
Sketchy AF.
Yeah, that's it.
Definitely.
Yeah.
Sketchy.
I feel yeah.
We'll go. I don't know. You don't think I know?
And we're going to head over to Mini Terrain Domain. So, other than that, Discord is full of wonderful people like these two gorgeous people here. If you want to come talk TTRPG, D&D, and all the other stuff, head over there. YouTube is fully up to date. If you missed this, don't worry. It will be coming up very, very soon, and it is in a playlist, so you can binge watch them if you want, along with our other shows. If you want to get in a game, DM Scrat on Twitter. We are introducing, I want to say 4 or 5 viewer games in season 2, including the Cypher system as well as D&D, which I'm really excited for, just bringing more and more people to this channel. It's so nice to meet you all and everything like that. We are full-time, so ways you can support us are like Patreon, for as little as £1 a month, $1 a month, I don't know which one it is, which one you are. But there's also free articles written by our wonderful Renee on there, and Derek, who is normally in this stream, but still heading back from PAX at the moment. We've got some awesome merch we have from Redbubble, which you can see there. The link has just appeared in chat. We also have wonderful sponsors in the form of Bird in the Storm, which was here and part of this awesome thing. You can see the links to their merch as well. And also Mage Hand Press, whose D&D 5e Dark Matter you can see in action every Thursday. Argo 37, and it's not the last one, it's the one before the last one this week. And I can't believe everything is coming to an end of the first season so quickly. It's gone really quickly, and I have enjoyed it, and I will be sad to see it come to an end. But yeah, we're gonna head off. We're gonna Ray cry with Alice. That was sketchy AF. I feel like this is starting to become a brand of mine. But yeah, love you guys lots, all of you. Keep evoking emotions, and we'll see you next Monday with the finale. So see you very soon. Bye.